Hello everyone, in this video we're going to be looking at making a drill style bass, okay? Now what do I mean by this? I mean that kind of bass that's got like, it's punchy, but it's really subby and it's just a little bit filthy, right? That's what we're going for. Now this kind of crosses over a little bit into trap, but I think this is more in the sort of drill domain of things, okay? And guys, what we're going to do is we're going to make this using Logic plugins, okay? Sure, you can make it in Serum or Massive, but if you don't have those things, you can still make it in Logic, okay? So first things first, get yourself a software track, and then we want to add in ES2. Okay, and now this is the default patch. Sounds awful. And first thing we want to do to make this basic drill patch, this basic drill bass, is switch this whole patch to mono. Okay, now we don't want the notes to clash, and that's why. So we don't want to accidentally hit some notes down the bottom. We want to be sure that we're only playing one note at a time. Right, next thing we need to do is turn off oscillator 2, turn off oscillator 3, and switch oscillator 1 to the sine setting, to this one here at the top. Okay. Next thing we need to do is come down to the router section, and we don't need any of these on, so you can bypass them or turn them off. Up to you. And yep, we're sort of some way there. So let's see what this sounds like. So much more subby now, right? Which is good. That's what we want. But definitely no punch. So let's go ahead and make that now. So we want to focus here on this section of the router, right? So where we've got pitch 1, 2, 3, that's great. That's our target. Leave that one as it is. But where it says mod wheel, that may or may not be there for you. Turn that one off. We don't need anything in this via section. And for the source, currently this is going to LFO2, which is down here. We need it to go to envelope 1, which is over here. Okay. And then we need to move this parameter all the way to the top. Okay, so to the full position. Okay. And our bass will sound like this. So exactly the same, right? So what we need to do is we need to actually edit these settings down here in envelope 1. Okay, so we've got attack, we've got decay. We can leave the attack where it is, that's fine. And we can bring up the decay setting here. Now if I bring this to about 400-ish, we get this weird laser type thing. We don't really want that, right? We want this to be a quick snap, right? So down to around 60-ish, 65, that'll do. 65. Right, now we've got like a quick ramp down in pitch, which makes it feel a bit more punchy, right? So that sounds much closer now to drill style basses, right? But it does sound a little bit weak at the moment. So let's come up over here to this section at the top. This is sort of our effects section. Turn distortion up to about the 1 o'clock position, so 12-ish decibels. And then we want to turn the sine level here up to about midway. Okay, so 12 o'clock-ish. Okay, and it will sound like this, which is much closer now to the sound that we want. Okay, now there's a few things that we need to do, and that is really in this filter section here, so this middle sort of wheel section. Okay, now we've got filter 1 and we've got filter 2. Let's have a look at filter 2. Firstly, we want to switch this over to fat, because that's the kind of sound that we want. And then it's up to you whether you have this as a 24 decibel slope or an 18. I'm going to go 18. Really just play between those two and see which one you like the sound of more. Okay. And now we need to focus on this blend toggle here, right? Blend means, how much do we want of filter 1 and filter 2? Okay. If we only want filter 1 all the way to the left, only want filter 2 all the way to the right. Okay. I want something of about 60%, so over to sort of this side of filter 2. Okay. Now let's have a quick listen. Now what we want to do is bring up this cutoff. And hopefully you can hear that. Right. So it sounds a little bit more filthy, right? So that's what we want. Now I'm going to bring this around to about 0.8. And if you want it to be a bit more punchy, we want to bring this one down here on filter 1. Right, so probably around there, I've got 0.14, but you just listen and see what sounds cool to you, all right? And that's kind of, we're kind of there, right? Now we could mess around down here with envelope 3, so we could raise the decay and the sustain, right? Now I am going to leave this as 0 sustains, that when I play the key, we don't have a sustain value. It doesn't, the note won't continue to be at the same level, same loudness. It will die away with this decay section. Now I want this to die away because I'm thinking, well, most of the drill that I would make, or that, you know, I've heard, you know, we've got this big sort of kick drum presence coming, right? And so I want this to die away so that the drums come through a bit more. So it's sort of pre-mixing or thinking about the mix overall. But it's really up to you. If you want this to, you know, to sustain, keep that sustain up. Right, so it's really up to you. I'm going to leave it to die away there. So no sustain, about halfway on the decay. Cool, right, now the last thing that I'm going to do is just change, or the nearly last thing, is change the tone, make it a bit brighter, or very bright, just to give it a little bit more cut through. And there we go, we are done, right? This is a pretty basic patch. So you could tweak a whole bunch of different things now if you wanted to. One thing is you could raise the voice level up to the maximum, and you could turn it to unison. This is going to be a little bit loud, just as a heads up. And then when you play this, it's way more distorted, right? Now, if that's the sound you're going for, there you go. That's how you do it, okay? I don't want that sound. I want it to be more punchy, clicky, and stubby, right? So I could change the drive settings, though. Give it a bit more warmth, frequency modulation. Right, I'm going to leave this down about there and turn the drive down a bit, just to give it a little bit of warmth. And there we go, that sounds pretty cool to me. Right, so I'm happy with that. There we go, so a basic drill kind of patch, okay? And then, yeah, that's kind of it, right? The last thing I'd probably do is add in an EQ. So double click here. And then, you know, why am I adding in you know, an EQ? I'm thinking about, you know, well, maybe this, do I want to sculpt this sound a little bit more? And I think we could have a little bit more bass in it to just really, you know, bring home that kind of nice subby feel and keep that sort of punch and click. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to go to the low cut, turn this to 48, and then bring up the hertz to about 50-ish sort of hertz. Okay, 52, that will do. Low shelf, bring this up to 100, raise it up by about 6.5. And this is not, you know, an exact way or anything. Then we've got we'll bring this up to about 500 in the mid. And then, there you go, that will do, right. Bring this down by about 7 or 8 decibel and lower the Q value. And then on the high shelf, bring this up to about 3000. Sorry, bring it down to 3000. And then just lower that a bit. And then just the high cut down to about 12. Okay, and if we play this. Right, now for a quick look. So a little bit too much, I think, here. We can hear it peaking a little bit. Let's bring that down a touch. And if I turn this off, there we go. So that sounds pretty cool to me. So I'm just trying to get a little bit more of that sub through. Just tame the click at the top a little bit. And yeah, turn the analyzer off, save your CPU. And there we go. That's it, really. You can see there it was peaking, right? So be careful with your EQing. You could probably turn it down a touch over here. And that will be just fine. So yeah, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I was asked to make, you know, a kind of drill-based video by a few people. So if you've got any ideas of, you know, things that you want me to make or show you, drop us a comment and I'll see what I can do. But yeah, if you want to see more videos like this generally, hit the subscribe button. And as always, thanks for watching.